Okay, am I live? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Please type in the chat if you can see me and if you can hear me. Yes, it worked. I'm not completely incompetent at my job. How does that look? Hey, so good. How's orientation, everyone? How you doing? How's everybody feeling? Good. Excited? Excited is what we want to see. I expected more scared and confused, but that's good. Not bad. It's what we want to hear. Hello, Liam. How are you, mate? For context, everyone, Liam was one of my students last semester who probably has better things to do right now than to be watching my stream. Second year ENGG1500. Guys, you get ENGG2500? Hey, you're going to get Warren in 2500, I hear, this year. Warren is amazing. That man will blow your mind as a lecturer. Are you going to need a pen and paper today? Not at all. Okay, this is gonna be the chillest, easiest session you've ever done. This is like a let's get to know each other a little bit. Let's make sure we're on the same page. If you have questions, ask them now. We'll get everything sorted so that when you hit Monday morning, you're good rather than terrified. Okay, so this is going to be super chill, super easy, and all of this gets recorded, and you can come back and watch it again later if you want. So pretty easy. Also, if there's like heaps of the same type of question, I'll make an answer to that and post it, either a short video or a post in the Discord or something like that. Did everybody go to O Week today? Did people bail on it? Did people go? One HP Wonder, having some issues with assigning Maths 1110 classes since I just joined. Yeah, you're not the only person who will have had some trouble assigning their classes. Hopefully you'll get the ability to reach out to a lecturer really soon. Unfortunately, I don't know the math lecturers, and I don't really have a great way of engaging with them, but hopefully you'll be able to do that. If you've got a clash between a lecture and a tutorial, bail on the lecture most of the time and just go to the tutorial, and hopefully you can get it sorted as we go. You got some free stuff, Liam H. Nice. A week was good. Yeah, not loads for engineering. Yeah, it's fair. I mean, you get around the campus, get to see some stuff. Got the free stuff. Good. It's what you want. As students, you want to find where any amount of free food is possibly available, and you want to dig your hands into that. We're chilling, by the way, until 5 past, as you may be able to see on the screen. So if you have any questions, chuck them up now. Now is the time. We'll sort of talk through some stuff during the stream, and you'll be able to ask questions as we go. But if you've got something I might be able to knock off the pile right now, let's do it. Free hoodie. It's real good on like a 35-degree day. Why are they giving out hoodies? It's the middle of summer. Didn't see any engineering clubs apart from the overall engineering society. Yeah, there's not heaps. There's the overall engineering society. There's the ChemEng, and it might now be ChemEng and Renewable Engineering has their own society. But if you can get into like the engineering society, it's splinter groups and stuff will come out of that. But the other place you really want to be for a extracurricular is the wrong word, but for a really cool engineering group is the new teams. And we'll talk about that a little bit through semester. But They're a group of students on campus, and they work on a few different projects, like building an electric race car, which they build every year and then race, which is amazing. They've got the Robot X group, which is they build this autonomous boat, which like has lidars and stuff on it. It goes around and moves through a maze on the ocean. Generally, they go to like Hawaii to do that. They have a rocketry club where they build rockets that go to 10,000 feet. Super, super cool stuff that you can get involved in. Not first year, first semester. You've got to get through at least 6 months, but then you can be part of that. I'll bring Alex Gregg in, the guy who runs it all, at some stage, and we can talk about it if people are keen. Oh, my audio's not great. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just going to check that I'm not clipping. I shouldn't be clipping too badly. It might, Liam, be the fact that I've moved, you might have noticed, and there's heaps of background noise here, so it could be that. Sorry, everybody, if my audio is not the highest quality in the world. I'll try and make it a bit better throughout semester. Do you have to check in for live streams? No, you do not need to check in for any lecture. So nothing that's a lecture needs to be checked in for at any stage. Do we need to do any pre-reading? Sort of, not for this lecture, but there is a week 0 playlist, which we'll talk about in a minute, which has got a whole bunch of videos that I made to prepare you for university, and you should watch them over the weekend. All the times for the workshop's taken? Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty full. How will you get notified for the link for the live stream? So I'll email. Oh, good point. I haven't sent that out yet, so I'm going to do that. So let's do that live. What I will do every week for you is go to Canvas, and I'll make an announcement. So you'll all get this in a second, so you'll be able to see it. And it will contain a link to the live stream. So I'm going to post that in Canvas now. And you will get this as an announcement in Canvas, which is kind of useless, but it will then get sent as an email. So you'll have that email. I'm also always going to post this in Discord for those of you who are there at everyone, and you will get pinged from Discord. But the even better thing than all of that is, because this is a YouTube channel, it can be set up with a perpetual stream. Perpetual stream key. So there is an address, which I'll show you when we enter Canvas, that will work forevermore. Anytime ENGG1500 is ever live, there is a static link that you can always go to, and it will always bring you here. So you don't need a new link every week. You can always go to that one, and I'll schedule the streams for you. Apologies for the audio, everyone. Give me a sec. Okay, I don't know if that will have helped. If it is bad, I will do what I can to... I'll do what I can to fix this. I think my problem is my background noise. I'm going to turn my mic sensitivity up a little bit. Hopefully I don't burst anybody's eardrums as a result of this. Maybe it will help. I'm obviously going to have to work on this a little bit. Sorry about that. Tried to join Discord and wouldn't let me join, as in just now, using the links below, or using some other link. Also, why is Alex calling me? That's strange. Alex, are you watching the stream? Because I'm probably not going to take your call, but could you maybe Discord message me something? Hey, buddy. Is this something that I should be taking your call for? Alex is one of my colleagues who's clearly watching me. My sound issue is OBS. Ooh, okay. Do you know what my sound issue is? Oh, okay. It's that. All right. Second, everybody, I'm gonna disappear for a second here. How is that? Am I back? can you hear me? Say more things, way better. Okay, so it's that problem again. Okay, thank you everybody. I apologize. Thank you for bearing with me. This was a problem that Alex and I have had before. Alex, am I okay to go, or should we keep messing around? Still crackles a bit. Is it serviceable for tonight, guys, and maybe up to tolerably bad? All right. So I apologize, everyone. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna do what I can, and obviously I'll have to work on this. Okay. So all right, I'm gonna smash through some stuff. Please keep chucking stuff in the chat. I'll try and answer as I can. And we're gonna have heaps of time at the end to do free for all chat, so don't stress. So let's actually get started. I've been waiting so long to actually start a course and start a lecture. Thank you all for being here. This is going to be great, all right? This is going to be the start of an awesome semester, course, 4 years of your life. You are going to love this, all right? I know it's scary as hell getting in and confusing and whatever. You're going to have the absolute best time. We're going to make sure of it, all right? So this is going to be awesome. We finally get to get started. Let's talk about what this is to begin with. What are we doing today, a week before semester starts? What you're sitting in right now is what we lovingly refer to as a live stream. It's something we started doing in COVID, actually, due to the chaos which was transitioning to online learning in 2020. We started, at least I started and a few others, pre-recording our lecture content and throwing it up on YouTube. But there was still no back and forth, right? There was no good way to talk to students and get the communication and things. So we started doing these live sessions where we would like recap some lecture content, but also answer questions and talk to people. So that's kind of something that we've just kept from that point onwards. So the purpose of these sessions is for you and me to talk to each other, be like super informal. This is clearly not a formal lecture or anything. This is something I want people spamming me stuff in the chat. We'll hack it out as we go. And as a result of that, we still get a bit of an engaged student to lecturer role, even though we're forced to be online. Okay? So that's the purpose of this. You'll still have pre-recorded lectures, and you'll get pre-recorded lectures. Just like I'm sure many of you have seen the week 0 lectures, or if you haven't, it doesn't matter. But you'll get a chunk of pre-recorded lecture from me every week. Most weeks, because some weeks I give you a week off. And then every week you'll also get a session with me where we can do this. And we'll recap some lecture content and we'll deep dive, and I'll bring some of my colleagues on, like Alex Gregg, I'm sure will show up in a stream probably sooner rather than later. And we'll discuss different things and we'll be able to talk to you, all right? So that you get those 2 sessions with me every week. And in between them, for most of you at least, it will be in between them. That's not quite how the timetable worked. You also get a workshop. Well, it's called a workshop in your timetable. And that's a session where you actually come into class and it'll be you and about 20, 25 of your peers with a tutor working on a real world engineering project that we give you. And you'll work on that every week and it'll be cool and you'll love it. That's actually the part of the course that you'll actually love. You'll love that bit. You'll tolerate me. That's fine. Sometimes there's a really strong connection between the lecture and the other content. Sometimes there's not. It's fine. But that's sort of the flow in 1500. It's a little bit confusing, right? You've probably never had this type of experience before. So yeah, that's sort of how we do it in this course. Just give me 1 second to check something really quickly because I should have this open and I don't. Cool. Sorry about that. So, all right, so that's the structure that we use. In terms of you interacting with me, there are a few ways that you can do it, and there are some ways that are more efficient than others. So I basically commit my life to ENGG1500 in first semester, and I'm going to try and help as many of you as I possibly can. But as of today, there are 570 of you in the class. I think there's 571 now, somebody enrolled in like the last hour. it's very hard for me to get to all of you one at a time, right? That just doesn't happen. So I need to optimize the way I engage with you. And by far, the most optimum way that I can engage with you is in a live stream. Because I can talk to all 571 of you at the same time. And if you have a question, you post it in the chat and I answer it, odds are 30, 40, 50, 400 other people had the same question. So it's super duper efficient, which means my maximum priority goes into live streams. I'll always be here for 2 hours every week answering your questions. Second to live streams will be the public Discord chats. For the same reason, right? You can ask a question and everybody can see the answer. So that's where I'll spend most of my next attention, and then I'll put my attention into emails or private messages, because I'm only helping one person at a time then, right? So if I've got 100 emails and one message in a public Discord chat, I'll go to the public Discord chat first. And then I just work my way down the list. The easier you make your email for me to answer, the quicker I'm going to answer that question, right? Because it's fast, it's easy, it's efficient. So that's basically the way that it works. My plan is to never ever repeat anything that I've said in a lecture. The whole point of me making pre-recorded lecture content is that you can watch it whenever you want, and you can watch it as many times as you want. So if you don't know something that we said in a lecture, go and watch it. That doesn't mean I'm not happy to talk about lecture content. I'm not saying I don't want to talk about it. I'm happy to talk about it. I'm happy to clarify things you don't understand. I'm happy to expand on it. And that's actually what we spend most of our time in live streams doing. But if you ask me a question that's explicitly in a lecture video, I'm going to say go and watch the lecture video, right? Because of course I am. That's why I made those lecture videos. Sweet as. Speaking of, go watch the week 0 videos. So, have you watched the week 0 videos? How many of you have watched it? Are they useful? And probably more importantly, do you still have any questions that you need me to clarify now? Some of them, that's fine. So these sort of come about from all of the questions that I used to get sent by students in week 0, week 1, week 2. And I went, I'm sitting here sending these as emails. Why don't I just make a whole bunch of videos for people and then they can have them forever? So plow your way through them. I've tried to stack them. They're not strictly stacked most useful to least useful, but some of the really important ones are up the top. Yeah, if you're a second semester here, you're going to know the overwhelming majority of that stuff. That's fine. Oh, I did enjoy me walking around uni. Man, if you've got a class in ES126, watch that video, because I guarantee you, the video that's on screen right now, you will get lost if you don't know where that room is. It is the hardest room to find. It's terrible. So this is awesome that a whole bunch of you have watched it. If you haven't had a chance yet, please do before Monday, because a whole bunch of them are going to help you with different stuff. Does anyone have any questions? Things that I maybe haven't explained? Are there any new links unable to join on current link? You're talking about the Discord? Are you talking about the link below? Because it should be working, but if it's not, I will replace it. We're going to talk specifically about Discord later, so don't stress. You're enrolled in 1500, workshop session is full. Is that a concern? Yes, it's a massive concern. Please send me an email. I need to get you enrolled. So there is a slide coming on this, but workshops start in week 1. You absolutely must go to your week 1 workshop, okay? It's super important. And if you're not enrolled, allocated in a week 1 workshop, we've got to get you sorted before Monday morning. So you will actually be my top priority, all right? Okay, that's strange that the Discord's not working, but we do have a whole slide on that, so I'm going to try and smash through some of this content, and then we're going to hit Discord at the end, because you're probably not the only one that it's not working for, right? So we'll prioritize that. Do we need full PPE in the first workshop? No, you don't. You will get told about your PPE in the first workshop. You don't need to bring it there. The reason I really like having that in a week 0 video is week 1 of uni is really busy, and you may not be able to find the time to go clothes shopping between your first class and your second class. So if you can get your gear before your first class, great. And if you have it, it's not the worst idea to bring it, because then you might be able to like show it to the workshop leader, tutor, whatever, and say, is this stuff all good? And they might be like, Yeah, those safety glasses you bought aren't real safety glasses. You should go and buy some better ones or something like that. It's extremely unlikely to happen, but you know, it gives you certainty. Email sent, thank you. During the orientation day, it said that we need a cotton drill. Does that apply for first year? Depends on, yes, Alex, please, if you wouldn't mind. Depends on what degree you're doing. So if you're a chemical or renewable, you do. If you're not, you probably don't. Hashtag go watch the what to buy week 0 video and it should clarify. Or just chill out and wait for your first class. They will tell you there. Are regular glasses able to be used as safety glasses? No, and it's actually super dangerous to do so. So if you've got regular glasses on and like a stone hits them at a high enough velocity, they will shatter and those shattered pieces will go into your eye and do way more damage than the original incoming thing is. What you need to buy, I will show you. This is a great question and it happens every single year. So safety glasses over glasses? Surely. This is what you want. Oh, I'm not trying to show you an ad here. I'm just trying to show you a bigger image. Something like these. Hopefully you can, you might not be able to see that. This style of glasses here, I'm aware this isn't, hold on. This is open image in new tab. That's what I want to do. There you go. That is what you want to buy, and you wear over the top of your regular glasses. You can also just wear these. If you don't wear regular glasses, you can just wear these. So if I was to ever buy stuff for a lab, which I'm, by the way, not allowed to do. I am not allowed to let you share safety glasses because COVID, so you have to have your own. You buy them because people with glasses can wear them and people without glasses can wear them. Good question. On safety glasses, are prescription glasses okay, assuming they are the correct stuff? Okay, to expand on this point some more, you can actually buy prescription glasses that are safety glasses rating. They're pretty expensive, but they're amazing, and they don't use the normal glass. They use some toughened polymer, and they generally have like little side things as well. If you have those, if they're rated, you're totally fine. If they're not rated, just buy the over glasses and you'll be fine. Is the majority of 1500 group work and projects? What is the percentage between individual and group projects? Okay, so this is a little detailed, but yeah, it's worth pointing out. You will do a group project together in a group. You will then do things like write reports on that project. The project is group, the reports are individual. Whilst you're working on the project, you will get set tasks. You'll actually set your own tasks every week to do, saying this is the contribution I'm going to make to the project. That is individual. So it's a group project, but you're assessed as an individual in almost every way. So it's a weird combination of both, and it's really successful. So you can be a good student in a terrible group and still get a great mark. You can be a terrible student in a good group and not get a great mark. So if that's why you wanted to know that question, because you wanted to be a slacker, probably not a good course for you. But for everybody else, you're going to have a great time. There is a surprisingly low number of people who are bothered about the group work. I know people are anxious about group work. It's so not a problem. In 99% of cases, it's so not a problem. Cool. Sorry, I'm just scanning chat here. Question about lectures showing up because I've got a lecture Monday, don't want to drive. Okay, we'll talk about lectures in a second because I've got a slide for that. Is the computer lab inductions to engineering the practical? I don't fully understand your question, but we're going to talk about inductions later, so hopefully that answers it. If it doesn't, let us know. What gear do we need to complete for software engineering? I want you to watch the week 0 what to buy video, but you don't need any. Can't find your tutorials for 1500. You shouldn't have one. So you should have a workshop for ENGG1500, but you shouldn't have a tutorial unless you are an international student, but you should have a workshop. How to access online textbooks from the library portal. I don't know how to do that, so I can possibly ask to get a librarian in and show you. If you have any specific questions about the safety stuff, maybe they're things that we can talk about in your specific workshops. Is ES126 and ES126A different? know. They technically are, but I own both ES126, ES126A, ES126B, and ES126C are all me, so it's fine. Just follow that video, you'll be totally sweet. Inductions, Dunny Liam, yeah, I think you've done the right thing, but I'll show you in a second. For textbooks, there is a video on that. Check the what to buy video because it's different for each degree. We can talk about turn-in at the end. All right, so I'm 100% happy to come back to these questions. They're very good questions. They're just extremely detailed questions. I want to hit some more big picture stuff, and then we're going to move on, all right? So I just want to talk about two other courses that you may or may not be taking, although almost all of you are probably taking ENGG 2003, because there are almost always questions about that as well. So Mech 1110 is a course that you'll be taking if you're a mechanical, mechatronics, aero, and a bunch of others. There's about 300 of the 600 of you are taking Mech 1110. Its structure, the way it's set up, is almost identical to ENGG 1500. So it's going to have pre-recorded lecture content, just like I have. It's going to have a live stream. That one happens to be on Monday 2 to 4. And in between that, there will be face-to-face computer labs that you will show up to every week. So conveniently, that structure and my structure are pretty much the same. The timings are a little bit different, but that's it. So that's nice. ENGG 1003 is similar, slightly different. So instead of pre-recorded lectures, Professor Stephen Weller does live lectures. So he doesn't wimp out like me and do pre-recorded, where if he messes up, he can have another go. He just goes live in front of everybody and hopes he gets it right the first time. So he does live lectures on Friday, and that's in your timetable, so you should be able to see that. This year, Steve's going to try running an additional help session for you as a Q&A session. Now, that's not in your timetables because getting things in timetables is horribly difficult. It will run Monday 1 to 2. It's not in your timetable, but it's a thing that Steve's going to run every single week for you. It's basically him giving up his own time to help you a little bit more because he thinks that's going to be good. And then, as well as that, you get a 2-hour face-to-face lab. So very similar structures for 1500, 1110, 1003. Hopefully that clarifies. Unfortunately, I don't know very much about how maths is running or physics is running or anything like that. The nice thing about Mech 1110, ENGG 1003, and ENGG 1500 is we're all on YouTube. All right, so it will tell you in your timetable that this is a Zoom session, like right now is a Zoom session. It's not a Zoom session. We're all on YouTube. It's great. You're going to love it. It's great. So there will be a Discord and a Canvas and a YouTube channel for all of these pages, and you'll be able to access them, all of these courses, and you'll be able to access them in a similar way. It's really nice way of setting them up. For those of you who are doing Surveying 1200, so if you're sitting there going, I'm not doing Mech 1110, there's a good chance you're doing Surveying 1200. I know that's a face-to-face lecture. So Dr. Lloyd Pilgrim's doing that one. That's a face-to-face lecture. It's one of your only face-to-face lectures as a first year, first semester student. So just, you can stay at home in your bed, in your pajamas to watch my lectures, Steve's lectures, Michael's. You got to get up and go to Dr. Pilgrim's lectures for Surveying 1200. I'm not saying you have to get out of your pajamas, but you do have to get out of your bed. Okay, just a real quick question on the live lectures. Do we have to attend them? Well, live. Good point. You don't. So this will be recorded, and it will be posted, and you can watch it after. And that's totally fine. Kind of the point of doing this live, though, is so that you can ask a question exactly as you did. Be like, oh, Dylan, can you clarify this thing for me because your explanation was a bit shit? Yes, I can clarify that for you. Not a problem. So you get most benefit out of watching live lectures live, but I understand that that's not always a reality for people. So yeah, you can totally watch them recorded later. Again, benefit of YouTube is it will do that for you. There is another benefit of YouTube, which is if you joined a live stream late. So say you join a live stream now, and we're 27 minutes into the content. What do? You could just start it live, but you can actually start from the beginning, and you can watch a current stream at like 1.5 times or double speed, and you will slowly catch up to us, and then we'll be live together at some stage. So you can do that on YouTube. It's really handy if you're 5, 10, 15, half an hour, minutes late to a class. You can still start at the beginning. You don't miss that chunk. I know a whole bunch of people have already asked me, hey Dylan, I've got a class from 3 to 5, and then I'd really like to drive home before starting your lecture. I'm not going to get home till 5:15, 5:20. What do I do? You totally drive home, and you just start late, watch me at double speed. You'll be fine. Your internet went down and you caught back up? That is also really handy. Is there a specific time which recorded lectures will be uploaded? No, there's not. I like to get mine up on the Friday. I generally don't succeed at that for very long. Generally sometime on the Saturday. If we were to put a rigid release schedule up, I'd have to make it Sunday night because I can't guarantee I'm going to have my content up before then, and so it's delayed. So I just get it out as soon as humanly possible, but different people do that differently. Play it on your phone as you drive home. This is also a valid point. 5 to 7, bit of an awkward time, right? As you may have noticed, you don't actually need to see too many things that are on this screen, and you rarely will for a live stream. It's almost a podcast. I'm not going to get offended if you tell me that you have your headphones in whilst you're cooking dinner, listening to my live stream, or you listen to it on the way home. Go for it. Like, great. That's an awesome way for you to engage with the content. Am I going to upload lecture slides for the purpose of note-taking? You will see that most of my lectures will look like my week 0 video lectures did, and they are not appropriate slides for note-taking. They actually do more harm than good for me uploading them. I wouldn't necessarily bother. I think it's a fantastic idea for you to sit down in front of any recorded lecture with a notebook in front of you, like keep it chained to your desk, and write in it and take notes as you go, or type into a Word document as you watch the thing. But my slides aren't going to help you in this case. Cooking dinner right now? Love it. Love it. Awesome. All right, I'm going to hit some more stuff. Let's see what else we have to talk about. Haha, okay. Good. Topical point. Getting yourself organized. You may or may not know this, but I believe the Uni app will make you a timetable and show you all your classes every week, which is pretty cool. Didn't have that when I was a boy. So that's nice, but I would strongly suggest making your own. This is something that honestly I didn't do as an undergrad, and I've had loads of people tell me later, this is a really good piece of advice. So I'm going to put it to you. Make yourself a timetable. I would make a graphical one similar to the one that the Uni app produces, but put everything in it. Put your work hours in it. If you're going to dedicate some hours to watch pre-recorded lecture content, put that in it. And I really strongly suggest you dedicate Sunday afternoons, I'm going to watch this lecture content, or Monday mornings, or Tuesday midnight, whenever you want to do it, put it in your timetable so that you know it's there. If you want time to work on your assignments, do that. Put your sport commitments in. Put your hobbies commitments in. Honestly, put some downtime. Put some you time into your calendar, because otherwise you're never going to give yourself any and you'll burn out. But make yourself a calendar with everything in it so that you can kind of look at your weeks and be like, this is manageable or this is not manageable, and I need to make some decisions. And that way you don't have to, waste brain cells on it as you go. Okay, let's talk about course outlines, roadmaps and stuff in terms of getting yourself planned. So you can plan yourself out for a semester, sort of. Do you have a course outline open somewhere? Oh, how about I just get a fresh one from Canvas? I'm going to show you a course outline. If you haven't seen one before, I'll show you mine. It's not very good. In general, course outlines are not the most useful documents in the world. It seems strange, because you'd think that they should be really useful. But a course outline is a templated document that you'll have for every one of your courses, and it'll give you an overview of the course, any prerequisites, detail your contact hours, tell you who I am, the contact, tell you what's in the syllabus and the learning goals, and all of this stuff should be super duper useful to you. But it's kind of not, because a lot of this it's not exactly lawyer speak around it, but it's been written for a very particular audience who honestly wasn't first semester students. It was other academics and accrediting panels and stuff like that. So a lot of this isn't written in plain English, and so it's useful, and you should look at your course outlines, and they do contain useful information. They're just not the easiest documents in the world to read. What you definitely should be doing, well, checking stuff like compulsory requirements and all that, but where most people find them useful is going and finding all of your assessments for a course in one little table here. So many people will use this, and some details of your assessments and when they're due. So you can get your course outlines, and you can map your whole semester out if you are so inclined. So that's useful. Some other course coordinators have sort of done this for you, and they make, I know Michael likes to call this thing a roadmap, a whole sort of semester-long thing that he's graphically mapped out for you, which has all your assessments and all of your content. You'll learn this here, you'll hand this assessment in here, you've got this quiz here, this whatever, and he's put it all together in this like big, well, map. For you to lead through the course. So some of your courses will have that, which is super cool from anybody who spent the 100 hours putting one of them together. What I do in my course is I'll make you an admin video every week. So every week you'll get a video from me, which will be, I don't know, 5-10 minutes long. The first week 1 and week 2 will be longer than that, but they're mainly 5-ish minutes long. And it's me just saying to you, hey, you should have done these things this week. You should have handed your assignment in. You should have started on this part of the project. There is free barbecues on Wednesday at blah, blah, blah location. And I'll just give you that as a little package every week. So if you're a little bit worried about, oh, you know, I don't know where I'm supposed to be up to, boom, go to an admin video. I'll give you that every week. Cool, cool, cool. Are these course outlines on Canvas? Yeah, they are. I'll show you how to get to it when we open up Canvas, which is a slide that's coming in a second. Unfortunately, it was very hard to put this particular presentation in order because everything relies on everything. Hey, off the Uni app, you can directly download your calendar onto your calendar app. That's really cool. I did not know that. I will show you where to find the course outlines in a second on Canvas. We will do a little bit of a Canvas demo, I don't know, soon, 5 or 10 minutes from here. I'll be brief in here. Most of your emails that you've been sending me have been great, and you as a cohort deserve to be congratulated on the professionalism in which you have displayed engaging with me. Well done. Good. Some of you are pretty terrible, and you desperately need to go and watch the How to Send an Email video. It's one of the communication videos, and you so badly need to watch that. Most of you have been great. If you haven't watched that video, go watch that video, all right? This hasn't been very many people, but again, a couple people are not using their @UON accounts. So you know, on my end, my Outlook filters everything, and it gives me internal emails, and then it gives me external emails. Things that come from @UON or @Newcastle. So staff have @Newcastle accounts, and students have @UON accounts. Internal, and then there's everything else. And once semester starts, everything else gets one of my brain cells every 3 weeks. All right. So if you send me an email from something that's not an @UON account, just don't expect it to get read until August. So there you go. Don't send me Canvas notifications. I hate Canvas. It's so bad. Canvas will let you send a message from within Canvas to another person. Please don't do that to me. I have 12,000 other ways of communicating with you. I don't need another one. Don't send me Canvas messages. Reply all is rarely the answer. I don't think I've sent you an email where you've had the option of hitting reply all. Be careful. If you're not sure, just make sure you're not replying all to emails that you don't mean to be replying all to. But in general, when I do send a particular email out, whether you can reply all or not, I've often sent it to 571 of you. And if you reply to that and then somebody else replies to that and then 400 other people reply to that, your response can get buried. Sometimes it's a good idea to start a new email chain and recap whatever you're replying to and send it as something different, particularly if you've replied to an email that said basically hi everyone in it, and I haven't responded in a couple of days. It may just be that you got buried and I missed you. So I'm sorry if that happened. Just create a new email chain and flick it to me again. That means, look, I think at least at 3:34 p.m. today, as far as I was aware, I was up to date on my emails. my student emails. I was definitely not up to date on all of my other emails, but that's not the point. So if you've sent me an email before 3:34 p.m. and you're waiting on a reply, I don't know you exist anymore. So just send me another email and I'll get on top of that. So sorry if I've missed anyone. Please flick it to me again. Cool, cool, cool. This all seems fine. None of those things seem like stuff I need to comment on right now. Sorry, I was just reading the chat. Another thing that I don't think applies to very many of you, but it might apply to some of you, is your enrollments. So you all need to have a workshop allocated. If you don't, you desperately need to talk to me. Somebody else has already flagged it, and I'm pretty sure that is in my emails, and I'll get onto that tonight or first thing tomorrow for you, and we'll get it sorted. If you currently thinking, I'm all good, I'm in the Monday 8 a.m. class, or I'm in the Friday 6 p.m. class. They're not real classes. You are not all good. You need to check your emails because I've been trying to get you out of these classes for a little while. We can fix it. You should have emails from me. If you don't have emails from me and you're in one of these classes, just flick me an email. We'll get you sorted. We'll be totally fine. We just need to get on this as soon as possible. I've said this before, I'll say it again because it's so important. Week 1 classes are mandatory. You have to go to your week 1 workshop. There is some prevailing opinion out there that classes don't start in week 1 or classes don't start until after a lecture is finished or something. It's complete BS. They start in week 1. So if you have classes on Monday, go to your classes on Monday for all of your engineering subjects. I don't know what they do in maths and physics and any of that jazz, but ENGG1500, Mech 1110, ENGG1003, everything starts on Monday. So please go. It's extremely important. Aha, Canvas, as promised. All right, let's have a look at Canvas. So my Canvas site is available. Yeah, I'll give you the full update. My Canvas site is available, ENGG1003 is available, and Mech 1110 is available. We all come online in like the last 24 hours. So if you checked and you couldn't find it, I believe we're up now. So let's, what's the best way to do this? I'm going to pull a fresh tab across, and I'm going to go to Canvas. Now I've bookmarked Canvas because the way I find it is different to the way you find it. So I would, if I was you, suggest bookmarking Canvas. I'm just going to give myself the opportunity to not have lost seeing chat. Not that chat is necessarily talking about anything I need to really be paying attention to, but how often is the workshop? Workshops are once a week. Okay, I'll address those other comments later. So this is Canvas. Oh, I should get back, sorry. When you get to Canvas, you will see all of the courses you are enrolled in up here, and maybe some others. So, you know, ENGG1500, you should have that. You might have some others. You won't have specifically Mech 1110, but you should have, you might have Mech 1110, sorry. You might have ENGG1003. You should be able to see those now. I don't know about maths. I don't know about physics. You should also have some others, like a college health and safety site. You should be able to see this as well. And that's going to be important because you're going to need it. Let's start with ENGG1500. Come into here. It will bring you to a home page. It will put these announcements up here. This is good because if ever I need to let you know something, I will do it as an announcement. Not that I realistically ever expect you to come here and check the announcements. These announcements go out as emails, but you know, you'll be on top of it. I'm just going to go into student view. So this looks like the way it will look for you. There you go. Cool. Now there is some buttons down here that do some things, but I haven't set any of them up yet. So I'm going to not press any of them. I want you to go to modules. Whenever you come to my Canvas site, I want you to go to modules first. All right, that's where everything will be. In here, you'll have lectures. This will be a link right now if we went into here to the week 0 playlist. And once the week 1 playlist goes up, which will go up like tomorrow, I'm just going to append this and then the week 1 playlist information will be there as well. If I go back to weekly live streams, there you go. This week's live stream can be reached here. This, by the way, youtube.com/c/ENGG1500/live. This is a forever link. This will always work. It will never change. There's no different Zoom meetings every single week or any of that BS. There is one link. All you ever need to get to a live stream. Even if I run a live stream at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday for some dumb reason. That link will pretty much, should always work. So you've got that. Again, I'll email you every time I go live anyway. So that's lectures. In admin, you've got inductions and PPE, which is something that you'll need to look at. This just links you to the week 0 video. So if you've already seen the week 0 videos, then you're fine. But if you haven't, you can get to them here. We'll talk about these things later. Course outline is here. Course outline is in like 12 different places, but my course outline is there. You will be able to find it within a Canvas site. A thing for assessments. This is kind of cool. This is new, the assessments overview. It's basically just the table that came out of the course outline, so you can get it from here if you want it as well. Pets are not allowed in classes, otherwise I would have my rabbits. And then assignments overview. I have made you a playlist, and every every assessment I ever issue you, I will make a video explaining it, and you'll be able to get it from there. Okay, and then the final thing is workshops. So in this course, you'll get lectures from me, but when you go into your classes, these workshops, they're tailored for your discipline. So a mechanical engineer gets a slightly different experience to a chemical, to an electrical, to a software, because you probably want to be working on different things. So we give you a discipline-specific tuned version of the course, and the way this manifests is through different workshops. So they're not available right now, but I'll show you what it will look like probably by Monday morning. I go to workshops. You can see all of these, okay? So you can see chemical and renewable students, electrical, mechatronics, computer systems, civils, mechanicals, whatever. So these are all hidden right now, but they'll be up very soon, if not tomorrow. In fact, I got an email about 2 hours ago from Simon telling me that the solar D-cell is ready to go. So I'm just going to make that available now. And now everyone will be able to see this. One of the annoying things is Canvas doesn't know whether you specifically are a chemical and renewable student or not. So we can't filter this. We can't only show you your appropriate thing. You see everything or you see nothing. So that's just how it works. Are there specific workshops we need to be going to for a specific discipline? Sorry. Yes, there are. That has already been solved because you are only able to enroll in a workshop that was related to your discipline. Okay, so you don't get filtered in Canvas, but you are actually filtered in the enrollment step. And so you should only be able to be, if you enrolled normally or I enrolled you, you will be in the correct place. If you feel really out of place in your first workshop, just ask the tutor and we'll get you sorted. Okay, so this is a good question. Is it preferred to ask discipline-specific questions on Discord or in a live stream? So, once we know what Discord is, and I am aware that some of you already do, but others don't, we have another communication platform we use in this course called Discord, and it will stream you by discipline. And so it is your best place to ask those things. You can totally ask those questions in a live stream, and if the answer is something that I think is interesting for most people to hear, then I'll answer it. If I think it's something that is of interest to you and no one else, I'll say that's not appropriate for this place. So don't let it stop you asking, just don't be offended if I don't answer. If we are not an engineering student, which discipline should we attend? Okay, it's up to personal preference. You'll be able to pick. Now, you've got slim pickings as to what classes there's any space left in right now, unfortunately. But if you're not an engineering student, pick something you think is interesting, man, and we'll get you in there, and you get a taste of it. If you're doing, good question, Ryan. Doing a double degree, which do you only need to do one workshop? Yeah, you only need to do one, and you can pick either or. It's fine as long as you get one of those experiences. You do not have to do twice as much work because you're doing a double. Discord got me through COVID. Discord got me through COVID, man. Discord got me through COVID. We ran this entire course through Discord. It was game changing. We actually published a paper on it. If my workshop is on Tuesday, is that okay? Does it need to be changed? I'm sure it's fine. I don't know why it would need to be changed. If you're in a workshop, you should be in a workshop, man. What about software engineering student? What about a software engineering student? Sorry, can you give me some more info? Is it correct that I'm allocated into 10 classes? Nope. No, it is not. Well, maybe 10 classes total for all across your whole 4 courses. You shouldn't be in 10 classes for ENGG1500, but maybe 10 classes total is reasonable. Why are some classes on Zoom when Discord can be used? Is a question I'm not allowed to. Well, look, Discord can't stream to 500 people. That's not what it does. But yes, I use Discord for all of my classes during COVID instead of Zoom, and it was game changing. It was amazing. For the tutorials, I'm not a UNCIE student. Do I just ignore them? Yes, you just ignore them. So there are a couple students in ENGG1500 who get an additional tutorial for various reasons that has nothing to do with the overwhelming majority of you. It appears in the timetable anyway. It's super annoying that you can all see it because you can't enroll in it and you don't need to know it exists, but it appears. If you are not a UNCIE student and you see the tutorial, ignore it. You need to be in the workshop, and that's it. There is no tutorial for 1500. What are disciplines? Okay, so yeah, so this is a terminology that probably needs to get explained. So we have the School of Engineering, and within that, there is things like mechanical. So I'm a mechanical engineer. And then there are mechatronics engineers, electrical engineers, and so I would say, there is a discipline is a single or maybe a group of engineerings that are lumped together, but they're more detailed than simply saying I'm an engineer. I can say I'm a mechanical engineer. It's my discipline. That's where I'm from. What can I do to ensure success? Go to all of your classes. It is the #1 contributor to people succeeding at university is attending all their classes. Which sounds weird because some of them you won't like in your, 4-year period. Go to them anyway. Looking at my timetable and there is a clash, you're probably not the only way. Requests for swaps for a few classes, as many of them are full. Yeah, you're not getting many swaps this late. So if you have clashes, what you want to know is my lectures, ENG 2003 lectures, MEC 1110 lectures are all going to be recorded. Cop a clash in any of them, bail on the lecture, watch it later. It's not necessarily a problem if you have red flags. Will our classes occur at the same time every week unless rescheduled? Yes, they definitely will. We will not reorganize them on you. Yeah, Hugo. Also, man, go and do a lec, Hugo. Hugo's one of my students from 2 years ago, so I don't know why he's in the chat. But yes, I've heard my audio's a bit messed up. We're trying to fix it, but it hasn't been great. Okay, so let's have another look. Where did my Canvas page go? Here we go. Because this question's been asked, and it's something many of you are going to want to know the answer to. Inductions. So if you are in ENGG1500, you desperately need to go and watch, go to modules, go to admin, go to inductions and PPE, and watch these 2 videos. And this inductions video will show you how to go and do your inductions. But in brief, because you may have questions, you go to Canvas and you go to the College Health and Safety site. You wait for it to load. And you scroll your way down until you find ENGG1500. It's really easy because it's the biggest. And then you come and do the appropriate quizzes. All right. So if you're a chemical and renewable student, and to be clear, this is somebody who's timetabled in ABEW for their workshop, you do this quiz. If you're timetabled in EE103A, you do this quiz. And if you're in ES126, you do these 2 quizzes. You got to do 2 for that. Okay. So everybody needs to do their inductions. You'll get reminded about this in week 1. If you have not done them by week 2, you will not be let through the door. You will be told to leave. Okay? So you absolutely must do these. They are not hard. They are the simplest quizzes of all time. And you can do them as many times as you want. So you can do them once, get one of the questions wrong, and just do it again. That's fine. And it should take your highest grade, but if you've got 100%, just stop. You have to get 100% in the inductions, all right? 21 out of 22 is a fail. You've got to get 100% in your inductions. They're not hard. Just smash through them before you even start. Which one for medical? None. You don't have to do one for medical. One for aero? Yes, you do. Ah, I see your point. This should 100% say aero. Good call. Yes, you need to do that for aero. I am going to have to modify that. Can you please send me an email just so it goes into my to-do list to say modify health and safety to include aero? Software doesn't need one. Thank you, you're a legend. Okay, if you have any questions about them, let me know. I'm probably going to try and set aside a couple of minutes in half an hour or something where I'm just like chilling. And if you want to go and smash through these at that stage and then let me know if there's any issues, we can do that. But we'll move on for now. Aeromechatronics double degree. Good question. You're doing the induction for the room you're in. Okay? So if you're an aero mecha, you will either be in ES126 because you took the aero project, or you'll be in EE because you took the mecha project. You only have to do the induction for the room you're in because you're getting inducted into the space. It's actually a little bit of a misnomer for them to be labeled with degrees. They honestly should be labeled with rooms, and I might actually change that because I think it could be clearer. Hope that helps. If you can't figure it out, do both because it's going to waste like 10 seconds of your life and you'll be fine. All right, let's talk about Discord. So, Discord's the greatest thing of all time. If you've never seen it before, I'm going to show you some basics, but there's a link in the description below. I've been told by some people that may not be working, so I might just... Okay. I might just make a new link. Invite people. Are you still there, Alex, by the way, out of curiosity? Copied. Yes, I have seen your memes that you have been posting. I'm aware of that. I seem to have lost Alex, which is fine. I'm just trying to now figure out. Let me edit. I think Alex has already placed a new link. Is there anybody who's currently in the chat right now who isn't already in the Discord? If so, please go to the Discord links in the description below and click on it and tell me if it worked. If it doesn't work, I'm going to update the link, but if it does work, I'm not going to fix something that's not broken. I do know, for one, the ES126 quiz, what number to call in an emergency? The answer is 4 zeros and 3 zeros is wrong. Can you please send me that in an email? Because I fixed that and it has been changed and I am annoyed. So the background to this is, if you're at the university and you pick up a phone that's like an old school phone that's in a wall, you have to dial 0 and then dial the number you want. So all of the old quizzes said, pick up a phone and dial 4 zeros. But all of you people own mobile phones, and so what I want you to do in an emergency is take your mobile phone out and dial 000. And that's the point of that question. So, whatever. The email link didn't work, but the YouTube did. That's interesting. It still asks the question for... In the ES126 quiz, it's asking that question? Because I wrote that quiz, and I hate that question. Okay. Please send it to me in email. I'll try and get it fixed for you. That's confusing, and I apologize. Medical engineering does not need PPE. Do we need Discord if you can use YouTube? Yes, you 100% need Discord. You will see why. So, let us have a look. Many of you are probably currently sitting at this screen. So this screen is the registration screen. You won't be able to see any of this stuff on the left. You'll just be able to see registration. And what you need to do is type your student number into that registration channel. And what it will do when you do that is give you access to the rest of the pages. And it will also forcefully change your nickname from whatever it is to your name in Canvas. So basically, the way that we've set this up is you can't get into our Discord unless we have you on our whitelist, and we'll check that against your student number. Okay, so you got to go to registration, you got to put your student number in. You all should be able to get in because I updated the whitelist at 3:30 today. So if you're in the course at 3:30, you should have been in the list. If you weren't in the course at 3:30, you're probably not in the list, but yeah, there's like 2 of you at most who are in that boat. So please do that, and please see that you can get through onto this side of Discord. If you can't, let us know. We'll try and get it fixed, but it's worked for several hundred people so far, so I'm pretty sure it's working. What will then happen, it's happened already, but if you weren't in the server, it won't have happened to you yet. What has happened to some of you and will happen to more of you soon is you will also get sorted. We have a sorting hat that goes around and looks at each one of you and checks what discipline you're in. And then it gives you some extra chats down here specifically for your project. So if you're in aerospace, you can come in, and I know that there's something in here already, and post for just the aerospace students. And an aerospace tutor can come in here and say, hey, aerospace people, I don't know, your project brief has been updated. And it will give information just to the aeros, because everybody else doesn't need to know that crap. So it just goes out to the aeros, and they can communicate that way. It's extremely powerful because there are this many different projects running simultaneously. So the concept of me giving blanket notifications to everyone when one project has had things changed is horrible. You do not want to be part of that. You want tailored information, and you get it in this way. Tailored down to the point where it can be, I can communicate to every single person in the entire course. I could communicate to just the aeros. I could communicate to just the Wednesday 3 o'clock workshop. And I can actually communicate once we put you into teams with just a single team within that workshop as well. There will be channels all the way down. Also, what you will get is a team channel. So once you get put into a group, you'll be assigned a team channel, and that will become private for you. So you can work with your fellow team members in here, and no other student in the whole course will be able to see that. So it'll be totally private. You can put all of your super secret designs and plans and stuff into that channel, or you can talk trash with your friends. I don't care. I don't, micromanage these channels. You use them as you will. And you'll have that channel in which you can do that. They're not private yet, but they will be private in week 1 or 2 or 3 or something once we assign your teams, okay? And this is one of the mandatory reasons you we don't force you to use Discord. Everything that ever is required for the course 100% will be on Canvas. So you don't have to use this, but everybody gets to the end of the year and is like, yeah, you should totally be using Discord. So Discord link works. Awesome. Thank you. How many quizzes do I need to do for civil? Because I've done the academic integrity and the 3 consent ones. At least 1 more. You need at least 2 more. You need to do the ES induction quiz, and you need to do the ES126 specific quiz. One's for the building, one's for the room. Yeah, I know. I know those feels. Yes, you have to do a whole bunch of quizzes when you start university. This is why we talk to you now and not in a week's time, because we want you to process all of this admin stuff and that way you'll be hitting the ground running in week 1, and you'll just be able to focus on the actual engineering content you want to learn as much as possible. Yes, I know there's a lot. Software engineering induction, get 15 minutes of sun every day. I think most of you would have failed. If I'm a diploma, when I move to my degree and I do Mecca and 1500, but I want to do aerospace degree, what happens? Totally doesn't matter, Kane. Doesn't matter. And this goes for everybody. So you've started now and you're in whatever engineering you're going to start in. And you're going to do that engineering 1500 project. And you might come out at the end and be like, you know what, thanks, but no thanks. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do whatever those people are doing because it was way better. And then you want to switch. It's totally fine. It doesn't matter, okay? What project you do doesn't necessarily affect your ability to move in the future. We just made the projects in a way that we thought would be the most engaging and the most interesting to you, to give you the best time and teach you as much as we could. You can see all the W26 teams. Yep. I see that you've already acknowledged this, but I will clarify. Right now, everyone will be able to see all of the teams in their workshops. As we make them private, they will then disappear out of that list. It will make a little bit more sense in a couple of weeks when we do that. How do I find the ES126 quiz? Great question. You go to Canvas. Your Canvas looks like this. You go to the CESE Work Health and Safety, College of Engineering Science and Environment, Work Health and Safety site. You click on that. You scroll down, 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 down until you find ENGG1500. And then you come across to here and you do the ES Lab quiz and the ES126 induction quiz. Do both of them, get 100% in both of them. Is your team only the people within your workshop? Yes. Yes, it is. So you will go into your workshop and then you will get a team within that. You will not be teamed up with people in different workshops. The logistics of that would be a nightmare. Good question. I have my monos and... Okay. It says I'm not allowed to view the message history of the reports tab. No, you're not. So that's fine. We can clarify what reports tab is for. There we go. So what the reports tab is for is if we come into a particular channel, and I'm not going to open any of them up right now, but let's say you've come to a particular channel and you've found a post offensive. You don't think that that was appropriate to be posted. It doesn't normally happen, but occasionally it does. If you see something that you think is homophobic or racist or sexist or something like that, like, I have no time for that. I don't want any of that crap on my Discord. So you can report them. There are some instructions in here on how to do it, and you can just right click and get a message history and you post it in there. What will happen at that point is it will be immediately deleted and no evidence of it will exist within that reports channel ever. It will get moved and saved into a very specific channel that I have access to, and I think no one else. I'm pretty sure I'm the only person with access to it, and I keep an eye on the submitted reports channel, and I will go through and check those posts and see whether I thought those posts were inappropriate, and I'll take appropriate disciplinary action, or I will refer that person up to the student academic conduct officer who will take appropriate disciplinary action. If you've done something like posted something that was like, you really shouldn't have done that, it's like, what'd you do that for, you idiot? If you post something that's like genuinely offensive, I will report you and I'll do my best to have you kicked out of university. Like, we're not here to name and shame people. We're not here to offend people. We're here to be good human beings and help each other out, right? So don't be a prick and you'll be totally fine. But, you know, I've never, ever had it happen. It's never been a problem. But in a situation where somebody was to come in and try and be aggressive or offensive or something, we will take action. So that's what the reports channel is for. You'll probably never use it, but I want you to know that you have it if you see things that make you uncomfortable, okay? And also don't freak about using it. Like, if you see something that you think is borderline and you're not sure, report it. I'll check it and see whether I think it's inappropriate or not. If I think you've done something that was totally fine, it's fine. Don't stress, okay? What happens if someone clicks on a scam and it adds everyone in every channel? That has happened. Try not to do that. Yeah. Can announcements be reported? I hope not. I haven't ever checked. Please don't report my announcements. Is the bot ever going to take a break from playing Warhammer? It seems unhealthy. It is not. It is playing the appropriate amount of Warhammer, and nobody else is playing enough Warhammer. That's the correct answer to that. Hilariously, the game that the bot is playing is sometimes used as an indicator of the status of the bot. So if it's playing Warhammer, I know it's doing its job. If it's not playing Warhammer, then I might need to go and check on something. Do not suppress at everyone. The only people who are allowed to use at everyone in this channel is me. So no one will use at everyone bar me. So don't suppress it. Okay? I understand. I totally understand that in most servers, and you would want to do that. And I have suppressed it in all of my gaming servers and other things. But in your ENGG1500 and appropriate ones, course coordinators are the only people who can do that. Cool, cool, cool. I didn't actually force it to play Warhammer. The guy who made the bot did. All right, sweet, 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 sweet. Okay, there are also links, as you may have noticed, to the MEC1110 and ENGG1003 Discords below there. They may have been shared with you by the corresponding course coordinators. If they haven't, the links are there. By all means, go and grab them. Please take note. These are 3 separate courses. Don't post things in my Discord server about one of the other things. It's okay, it happens. But, you know, try and be aware. Glad to see that it seems to be working. This is like a fully automated bot. That bot is the most amazing thing I've ever seen built in my life. What language is the bot written in? It's Python. So James wrote hundreds of lines of Python code and made JSON files with all the details in it, and it like automatically sorts you all and automatically does your nicknames and feeds me specific information and breaks you up into groups. It's just the most glorious thing I've ever seen. It blows my mind every year when it gets up and running. So yes, it's Python bot though. So, all right, some other pieces of software. So we've talked about Canvas, we've talked about Discord. There's a few other things you're likely to need. And again, if you can get them sorted now, then it's one less job for you to do in week 1. So if you're doing ENGG1003, which the overwhelming majority of you are, I think the Venn diagrams is like 95% of my students are also doing ENGG1003. So you'll need PyCharm. And you will need the programming language Python, but when you install PyCharm, it automatically installs Python for you. There was last year a video on the ENGG1003 Canvas page that would take you through that installation process, and I'm 99% sure if it's not up already, it will be up before Monday morning, and you can then go and get yourself PyCharm and Python, and then that's what you'll use for ENGG1003. You don't have to do anything with it yet, but having it on your own laptops and whatever might be helpful. We're going to talk about ChatGPT later. Cool. That all seems fine. Some of you will also need MicroPython. So if you're in ENGG1500 and you're doing Mecha Electrical Computer Systems, i.e. you're in EE103A is your scheduled room, or you're a medical in ES204, you're going to be using these cool little Raspberry Pis this year, which you write Python code on and then you upload it to the Raspberry Pi. In order to get that to work, you need an extra little program called MicroPython. If you already know how to get MicroPython, great, go for it. I have a video that shows you how to do it. It's not up on my page yet, but it will be up by Saturday morning is my expectation. It will be within the modules part. So you go into modules, you go into the robot project or the medical project, and I'm pretty certain it will be in there. If you can't find it by midday Saturday, hit me up, ask me, put a thing in Discord. I'll probably also post the video in Discord, actually, to be honest, and then you can get to it that way. If you are doing MEC1110, you will need Creo. We're up to Creo. Michael will make a video for how to download and install Creo 9. I spoke to him today. That video will come out over the weekend. It's not out yet. there have been some issues at the university in terms of getting this running. I think Michael's got them sorted. He's been working a million hours to get that sorted. I think he has. I think your video will come out over the weekend. So don't stress. Super easy to get. It doesn't run on Macs, but yeah, you'll be able to hopefully get it before your first class. If you don't have it before your first class, it's fine. You can come in and use the uni computer. It's not a big deal. I just know a lot of people want to get it. And the right time to get it is not when your class is starting. It was before your class started. So, I think this is needed for surveyors. They'll use some program called LizCAD, but you won't use it till like week 9 or 10 is the first time you use it, and Lloyd will talk to you and whatever. So there is some programming for surveying 1200. Don't worry about it, is basically my point. Wait, you need no action. Video will be recorded over the weekend. Hey! Dr. Michael Carr is in the chat. Is there somewhere that lists all the resources we need before said classes start? So there is the week 0 video for what to buy for university that covers the overwhelming majority of this. It doesn't cover software because you don't buy the software. I suppose it does cover Office, for example. It doesn't cover this specific software. You don't have to get this stuff done by your first class. It's not the end. It's not a problem at all. There's actually no expectation that you've done this by your first class. You'll get told about this in first class. It's fine. But if you want to get ahead, you want to make week 1 of the semester less stressful, you can do it. So there'll be some stuff that's on Canvas in the next couple of days, maybe Saturday. Have a cruise around your Canvas site. Click on a bunch of things. If you find a video that teaches you how to download a piece of software, go for it. If you don't stress. It's totally fine. Where is EduPack? EduPack is not here. It is not a first year, first semester thing. Do softwares need anything particular? Yes, you do, but it's very particular to software, and you'll talk about it in your first class. Okay. I'm telling you not to stress about not having the software. Don't stress about not having the software. We're stressed about this software right now. Any of your classes that need you to use this software will be scheduled in a computer room, and there'll be university computers there, and the software is supposed to work flawlessly on those computers. So if you're having any issues with your own laptop, I'd just be like, don't use it. Just use one of the kick-ass $5,000 desktops that's in front of you. We've experienced some licensing and software issues in the last week. They may or may not be at full capacity in week 1. We're working on it. We're doing our best. What I want to communicate to you right now is don't freak out. If you get into a class and the computer is having a couple of dramas, be patient. Be patient with us. We'll get them sorted as soon as we can. Don't stress. It's okay. Just, try and we'll figure it from there. How come timetables say that the workshops start in week 2? Are you sure? Because I'm going to murder somebody if they say that. I was adamant that all of mine say they start in week 1. That is an enormous problem. Can you please take a screenshot of that and email it to me? Can we talk about textbooks and how to access them? Have you watched the week 0 video that talks about textbooks? I would do that if I was you. So it's talked about at length in the What to Buy for University week 0 video. Cool. We are now into a couple of, disjointed things. These are a little bit weird and wonderful, but there's just a couple of little things I want to cover at the end, and then we'll go totally open Q&A. Math starts in week 2. Yes. The fact that math starts in week 2 does not surprise me in any way, but none of your engineering classes, I think, should start in week 2. Workshops from week 1. Has a class popping up in week 2 and another in week 3. It's very strange. Still have workshops every week. Yeah, you should 100% have an ENGG1500 workshop every week from week 1 through to week 13. If you can show me evidence that you don't, please do so, because I desperately need to get that fixed. Sweet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's only... Yeah. Math probably starts in week 2, but Mech 1110, ENGG1500, I'm 99% sure Surveying 1200, ENGG 1003, we all start in week 1. All right, so this is something kind of weird that I need for you. This is very much a Dylan specific thing. And we've sort of spoken about why actually, that there's 10 different projects in ENGG1500 and there's 32 classes running every week. So if you say to me, I'm the Thursday 1 p.m. class, I'm going to be like, yeah, man, there are 5 classes on at Thursday 1 p.m. I don't know who you are. I don't know what project you're doing. I don't know anything. So I kind of need a little bit of extra information to sort of place you. And if somebody asks me, for example, what PPE do I need? Well, I need to know what project you're doing because the software don't need any, but the chemical engineers need heaps. So the way that we sort of track this is with this thing that I call a workshop number. Some university systems call a workshop number. Some call it an activity number. If you're in the app on your phone, I think it will be called an activity number. But it will be ENGG1500 or whatever, workshop 01 / something something. It's those last 2 numbers that I need, okay? Because they're all listed as W01 / 01, 02, or whatever. So you can get this from the timetable by just go to Google, type in ENGG1500, get the timetable, do it from there, and you can see this, and you'll be able to get it. That shows you everything. It's a little bit annoying. The better way to get it is to go to Discord and come down here and look at whichever one of these you're in, because this is workshop 01, 09. It's that number right there. I acknowledge this might be a little bit small for you to see on your screen. I apologize. But yeah, it's in Discord. It will tell you there, and then you'll be able to give that to me. I'm going to ask you for that constantly. Every assignment you submit is going to have that on it. Every time you email me a question, I'm gonna need to ask you, what discipline are you in? What project are you doing? What workshop are you in? So just include that information in your emails to me. I'm a chemical engineer. I'm in workshop 23 or whatever it is that you're in, and that way I can place you really efficiently. It stops us having to do that chain of you ask me a question in an email, what PPE do I need? I respond back to that, what class are you in? You respond back to the Thursday 1 p.m. class. I respond back, that doesn't help me. What degree are you doing? What workshop are you in? And by that time, 7 days have gone past and no point in this question anymore, right? So this thing's called the workshop number. I'm going to ask you for it a lot. Know how to find it. One of the week Windows University. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So I think I missed a comment here, but I'm now seeing possibly a response to it. What would I recommend for a laptop? If you don't own a laptop, I wouldn't recommend buying a Mac for engineering at university. Many of the programs that we use don't run natively on Mac. You can make them work, but you need to run Boot Camp, and then you need to run an instance of Windows in the Boot Camp of your Mac, and then you need to run the programs on that. It is doable, it is hard. So if you don't own one, buy a Windows one. You might end up just using the university PCs a bit more. They're all Windows PCs, so all of the software works on them. But we are largely, overwhelmingly, a Windows university. Okay, so everything you see will, all your tutorials will be designed for Windows and stuff. Something like Python, so what you do in ENGG 1003, doesn't matter. It's totally fine. It's super easy. But then taking that Python code and trying to upload it onto a Raspberry Pi microcontroller, horrible job if it's a Mac, and you got to do everything differently. So if you can, Windows machines. By the way, you totally do not need a laptop at university. You don't have to have one. You don't have to spend the money. If you don't have $2,000 to drop on a laptop, don't do it. Use the university computers. They're more powerful. They're not as portable. They're not as convenient, but it's a totally accepted way to get through university. I also would question buying a $3,000-$4,000 laptop for university purposes. Our desktops are going to be more powerful. Unless you're spending $10,000 on a laptop, the desktops we give you are going to be more powerful. So unless you're going to get some added benefit yourself out of spending a lot of money on a laptop, would be my advice. Now, this is advice. These are no hard and fast rules here, so take it all with a grain of salt. Sorry, I'm just reading chat to make sure I haven't missed anything. Yeah, no maths in week 1 is totally fine. If you can't find your workshop, maybe send me a message, an email, and I might try and help you track that down. Seems like we're doing okay. All right, I've got like 1 or 2 more of these slides. I'm just going to get through them, and then we're going to go into open Q&A, all right? So, accessibility, adverse circumstances, RAPs, and academic integrity. It's a bunch of stuff, and we should start this conversation now. This is not going to be the end of this conversation. It's going to be the start, but let's talk about some things. So, let's talk about ChatGPT, for example. For those of you who don't know, learn, because you're going to need to. GPT is an AI bot that you can write questions to and it will answer. We will be using it in this course. Each week in the live streams, my plan is to actually bring it up and ask it some of the questions that we've been working on this week and see what its responses are. We're going to read those responses and we're going to judge them and be like, yeah, that's a great answer. No, that's a terrible answer. That's an incomplete answer. Can we ask it some more questions and see if it can teach us some more? So we're going to be engaging with this as a resource, and we're going to be using it. I believe ENGG1500 will be engaging with it quite heavily as well. You absolutely need to know this. The university released a policy, and they did email it to you this week, that says if you use it in any way for an assessment, that is a breach of academic integrity, which can hold they don't say this, but a breach of academic integrity can hold a penalty anywhere from 0 in that assessment to kicked out of university. I'm now going to give you Dylan's hot take opinion on how this is going to play. Because it's going to play out, I think, similar to Chegg. If you don't know what Chegg is, it was a contract cheating site where what the university did was up the punishments for it. They turned them up to 11 to make sure people didn't do it. So, the punishments for faking it with GPT, I think, I'm guessing, I'm totally guessing here, are probably going to be real severe if you use them in an assessment. That is my guess. I don't actually control that. I would simply report you for having done it, and somebody else would determine your punishment from there. But it is a new thing. I'm not saying you can't use it for a class to the point where we are going to actively engage with it together, but just steer so unbelievably clear of it for your assignments because it's going to do bad things. And listen to your course coordinators. We're going to talk to you about what we consider acceptable and unacceptable use of it, okay? I will tell you, I heard last week, it is now just straight up banned in Queensland and Victoria schools. They're just saying you're not allowed to use it at all. We're not taking that approach. I think I personally, again, Dylan's own opinion here, think that's the wrong approach. I think we should engage with it and we should teach it to you, and we will. But yeah, so if you have questions, by all means ask them. This is going to be an evolving discussion. Also, everything that I have just said is my opinion as of the 16th of the 2nd, 2023. It could be totally different in a week because this is a field that is changing extremely rapidly. I'm saying Chat Bing got released like a week ago. It's mind-blowing. Google's is going to come probably before the end of the semester. I'm assuming it will be mind-blowing. Yeah. Cool. Look, we met with industry partners and asked them, what do you want us to do? And they said, we want you to train people in how to use it because we want engineers who know how to use it. And that makes total sense to me, right? If you're an industry managing engineers, do you want them to know it or do you want them to not know it? They want them to know it. I'm not an expert, but I'm going to try and teach you. We're going to learn it together, to be honest. ChatGPT dumbed down your previous response. Yep. All right. So that's one. I wanted to flag it. Some other things, adverse circumstances. So adverse circumstances are a thing at the university. If you miss an assessment or something like that, you can lodge an adverse circumstances and attempt to get consideration. Some things I want to state really plainly. The bar is probably higher than you think. I had to work. Unacceptable. Completely unacceptable reason for adverse circumstances. There's a few other ones that I'm failing to come to mind right now, but were probably acceptable at high school and you would probably think would be acceptable at university, and they're totally not. Okay, so the bar for adverse circumstances can be quite high. You really desperately want to be on top of that. So you want to put it in as early as possible and then action it as quickly as you can, because they get denied, right? Oh, I can't have my assignment in because I've got to work. You won't necessarily hear the response for 3 days, but the response may be denied. So get that in as early as you possibly can. In reality, talk to me, reach out, say, hey, Dylan, I think I've got adverse circumstances. Here is my situation. Because in some cases, I will be able to go, yes, that is clearly adverse circumstances. Don't bother filling the paperwork out. Here is our solution. And in other cases, I'll go, dude, that doesn't count. You got to figure something else out here. So reach out to me. I never want to see an adverse circumstances application cold. Every single time, I want to know it's coming. Because we can work out a solution ourselves almost always. The other thing that's really important, explicitly in 1500, but maybe applied in your other courses as well, and adverse circumstances will not necessarily grant an extension of time. So if you are sick, or you know you've got to not work because officially that's not acceptable. If you need to get deployed to work for the Defense Force, because that is acceptable, I will probably say to you, I'm not going to give you an extension on your assignment. I'm going to reduce the amount of work I expect you to do for your assignment. So I'm going to say, look, see that last 5 pages? You don't have to write them. We're just going to ignore that, but you're going to hand your assignment in early, not late. Okay? So in 1500 specifically, because we have what we call continual assessment, every time you submit something, you get something new, and it just rolls, it never stops. So extensions just do not work. We tried extensions for like 3 years, and everyone who got them failed. So we don't do extensions, we do reduced scope. If you have adverse circumstances, we will scope you down to get you to something that you can submit reasonably on time, and then you'll keep up with the cohort. Okay? Extensions just crush people in this game. So I want to flag it here. It's, again, an ongoing discussion. Reach out to me. That's what I want you to do, not just blindly put in ACs. The other thing is RAP. So these are called reasonable adjustment plans. If you're a person who is battling a few other things and generally would consider yourself to benefit from ongoing support, so maybe you've got, I don't know, let's pick something random, anxiety, and it makes it hard for you to submit things. You can talk to our accessibility team, they're called, and they can make a plan for you. So you don't have to put in an adverse circumstances every single time. You have this plan that you can meet with the course coordinator today and be like, hey, I normally get a 2-day extension on all of my assessments, and we can make a plan from you at the very beginning instead of you stacking adverse circumstances, because that's a disaster. So if you find yourself putting in several adverse circumstances, i.e. more than one a semester, that should just be a trigger. Hey, should I go and talk to accessibility and see if we can make a plan? Because if we can be premeditative about this, we are always more successful. And we will move mountains for somebody with an RAP if we can. There are some things we can do, there are some things we can't. But people I meet with before the end of week 1 of semester and make a plan with their RAP are almost always successful. Stacked adverse circumstances are almost always a disaster. The other thing is, if you're in this, and I know I'm only talking to a select group now, but I still want to make this very clear. If you're in the process of getting an RAP or thinking about getting an RAP, or you've never heard of this before and you want to know more, talk to me. I don't need all the paperwork finished to start making a plan for you, all right? So reach out. We'll do our best to help you. Cool. Okay, I think this is my last slide, actually. I kept this in because I mentioned a few names of people who you've probably never met. So some of the people who I've been collaborating with in the background to make this lecture and help with the other courses, Dr. Michael Carr, he's the course coordinator for MEC 1110, which many of you have. Professor Steve Weller, he's the course coordinator for ENGG1500, which the overwhelming majority of you have. Dr. Lloyd Pilgrim, he's the course coordinator for Surveying 1200. He's also the head of discipline of Civil Surveying Enviro. So I've been talking to him as well, just so that we're sort of on the same page. And then kicking around in the background, who you've heard from, is Dr. Alex Gregg, who is hands down the best teacher we have in the school, and he and I have collaborated on a few courses, and he helped me build and improve a bunch of aspects of this course, and is obviously been watching my back from time to time to make sure I don't screw anything up. So you may hear me name drop Michael, Steve, Lloyd, Alex. These are the people who I'm talking about. I just figured it was right to, yeah, reach out. So I don't have any more slides, but you've got me for as long as you need me, all right? So what do you want to know? If you've asked the question in the chat and I've missed it, by all means ask it again. What do you want to know about university? I'm just going to try and read it and answer as many of these as I possibly can. Your dog eating your assignment is not an excuse. Oh, so totally. Get some cloud storage, guys, so that this stuff doesn't happen to you. And if your dog ate your assignment and you come and told me that, what I would ask you for is, where was your last saved copy? If you're like, whatever, I was working on my assignment, I hadn't saved it in the last 16 hours, I've been working on it constantly, and my laptop caught fire and I lost everything. What I'm going to ask you for is your last saved copy. And if you can show me something that was, a day before, and I'm like, yeah, that's roughly where I would have expected you to be up to a day before, or you got horribly sick, same excuse. Where are you up to a day before, 2 days before, 3 days before? Show me that. And I can be like, oh yeah, you were here, you were on this trajectory. We can do something with that. So that's what I'm actually going to want in that circumstance. Although if you tell me a dog ate your homework, I'm going to have some more serious questions for you. Yeah, RAPs, reasonable adjustment plans, support for all sorts of things. The number of stuff that you can get support for is huge. So, I mean, I'm trying to be a little bit careful with my wording here because I don't necessarily want to list a bunch of stuff, but anything that makes you feel that, I don't know, you're fighting a little bit harder than somebody else might be is worth a conversation about whether it qualifies for an RAP or not. Because if it doesn't, we'll just be like, thanks, we think you're fine. See you later. Rather you reach out than not, right? Not in 2003, but looking forward to course probably. Yeah, so if you're a software engineer, you don't do ENGG1500. This is where the Venn diagrams split a little bit. ENGG1500 teaches programming for Python programming for engineers. Softwares, you guys will go and do some more specific stuff. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Cornelius, if you're still in the chat, I don't know if you know off the top of your head what first year programming stuff the softwares do. Although that being said, ask your tutor, ask Cornelius in your very first workshop. So one of the great benefits of this whole having different projects for different people is the person staffing the software workshop is a software engineer. So I don't know the answer to this question, right? But Cornelia sure as hell does. So you'll have that opportunity to sort of talk to an expert in your field, even if I'm not an expert in your field. We get free OneDrive storage. Yes, you do. I think you get a terabyte of free OneDrive storage as long as you sign up to Office in the correct way as a student. You also get free Office, and you get OneDrive storage. Something that's worth pointing out on this is like a nuanced thing, but the student OneDrive instance and the staff OneDrive instance are two completely separate things. We are not actually on the same network drive, anything like that. So sharing links from OneDrive can be hugely problematic between staff and students. So just be aware. A lot of the time, if you want to attach your assignment and send it to me and you do it as a link instead of attaching a document, I won't get it and I won't be able to see it. So just be warned. But you get a terabyte of OneDrive space and you should totally be using it. It's great. Triple check, no face-to-face or online induction for software engineering. You are correct. High school gave you 5 gig. Yeah, the uni pays. The uni and Microsoft obviously work together. Can you tell us what the actual software is that software engineering we're using? Don't know. Ask Cornelius. Are the Discord workshop channels available now? I can't see one. When did you join? Max, did you just join? Java and C++, that's 1120, maybe, yeah. Oh, if you've got serious surgery, we desperately need to talk. So something I haven't mentioned here because it creates more anxiety than it needs to. There is a thing called mandatory attendance at the university. I keep hammering on that your workshops are important. You are actually required to attend 80% of your workshops. If you do not, you will receive what's called a criterion fail. You will fail the course regardless of your grades. So if you know you're going to miss 2 workshops, you need to be talking to someone because you're going to fail outright as a result. Now, the reason I want to now backpedal that statement a little bit is so there's an app that you're supposed to log into and do stuff. There's a whole bunch of week 0 videos on it. Telling people about this often creates a lot of anxiety, particularly if the system doesn't work, it can break. So there is a backup system that you can use that will take you through it. That it never broke once last semester, and it had 1,700 submissions to it, and never broke once. So we've got you back there. We don't want this to cause a huge amount of anxiety for you. But yeah, if you've got something that's going to make you miss classes, I mean, also, I don't know how you would pass anyway. So that is a classic example of we so desperately need a plan. So let's make a plan. Taken through the office sign-up process in class. You'll have to find that out yourselves. If anybody knows how to do the office sign-up and wants to steer the group to how it's done, or if you find a good resource on it, I can post it in the Discord. I don't know how to do it, and I can't do it, unfortunately. Because I'm a staff, not a student, it won't let me sign up in the same way that you will sign up. We just get given a laptop with Office on it. We couldn't remove it if we wanted to. So I'm not entirely sure, I'm sorry. But if somebody figures it out, I'm happy to share the resources through Discord so everybody can have it. What PPE do we need? Dylan Williams, you need to watch the week 0 videos, what to buy for university, because what PPE you need is a function of what degree you are doing. Yes, if you're a software, ENGG 1100 is what you're kind of doing instead of ENGG 1003. It's obviously more tailored to you as a software. Scroll to the bottom of my UON for free software. Cool. Go try that. See if that works. Will we need PP in the first week? No, you don't need it. If you can get it by then, great, because it means you've got it, and that's awesome. And bringing it to your first class makes you sort of realize how big and heavy it is, and you can get it checked in your first class and be like, is this the correct stuff? So if you have it, great. If you don't have it, don't stress. If you're like, I absolutely cannot get to the shops between now and Monday when my first class is, it's fine. You absolutely need it by week 2, but you don't need it in week 1. Is workshop mandatory? Yes. The workshops are what's subject to mandatory attendance. So the lectures are not subject to mandatory attendance, but the face-to-face workshops are. You have to physically be in a room for 2 hours a week, every week. Required. Will this be uploaded after the live stream if I join late? Yes it will. So almost all of my live streams will be uploaded. The only time they won't be uploaded is if I've had a guest on who has requested me to not make a permanent copy of the lecture. So that's it. Sometimes happens. But by default, yes, they will be uploaded. Also, if you join late, depending on how late you join, you can join a YouTube live stream live, and that's fine, and you will have missed everything before then. Or you can join it at start, like you're 20 minutes late. You can start it from the start and watch it at 1.5 times speed, and you'll catch up to us, which is really nice if you're 5, 10, 30 minutes late to something. Less good if you're an hour and 40 minutes late, but really good if you're just a little bit behind. How long does it take to see Discord channels? Okay, few hours after joining. You should probably be able to. So the way that it works, I'm just going to pull my Discord off screen here actually, is there is a specific command that I now run that tells the bot to go around and do sorting hat. So it's going to put the sorting hat on all of you, and it's going to sort you into your appropriate workshops. So it's running now. So if you're in the Discord now and you haven't already been sorted, you should get sorted. This takes somewhere between 5 minutes and half an hour to run. It depends how many people are in the server. It's running now. Hopefully within 10 minutes, I don't know, you will get your workshop channel. You'll get one workshop channel. Hopefully. Where was I up to? Where the induction's meant to be? We can check the inductions again. So we want to go to Canvas. However it is that you navigate yourself to Canvas, go there. Go to the College Health and Safety site. Scroll until you find ENGG1500, which is really easy because it's the really big one. And then come across and do the appropriate one. So if you're in the architecture workshop, you do that one. If you're in EE103 or 103A, you do that one. And if you're in ES126, you do these two. There's two that you need to do. They're so easy. I'm going to just do that. Yeah, the 1750 website is drastically different. Is Creo 9 similar to Fusion 360? Yeah, it's like Fusion 360 on steroids. Lots and lots and lots of steroids. If you have some background information using a modeling program and you're going into this, and this actually applies in general, if you have some programming background and you're going into this, or you have some design background and you're coming into this, or you have some modeling background and you're going into this. When I say this, I mean ENGG1003, ENGG1500, or Mech 1110. Go in with an open mind, because we will teach you things differently, and you might think they're worse and less efficient and whatever, but we're seeing where you need to be in 4 years' time. And where you need to be in 4 years' time is going to need you to have a very specific set of skills. And the way that you have been taught in the past probably doesn't, almost certainly doesn't prepare you in the way that we need to prepare you. So we do things in some ways that you're going to go, this is so inefficient, but there's actually a reason for it. So go in with an open mind, try not to jump too far ahead if you've got some background. It should be much easier for you, but just sort of plod along and listen, and hopefully you have a really good time doing that. Office sign up is under software on the uni site. Cool. Will there be week 0 lectures for semester 2? I don't know. I don't get to control that. I think week 0 lectures are a great idea, even if they only go for like 15 minutes. But I have no power to make anybody else do this. If you think week 0 lectures are a good idea, by the way, please let us know, so that I could then encourage other people to do them. If you think they're a terrible idea and I just wasted an hour and 45 minutes of your time, please let me know so I can not encourage other people to do them. Would we use MATLAB or just Python? Many of your courses will use MATLAB, but we've tried to standardize first year, I think, to be Python only, and then MATLAB gets taught further through. Textbook for 1500? No. So I, once again, would strongly advise you to go and watch the week 0 videos where I talk about textbooks, not just for my course, but for others. So week 0 videos, what to buy for university, totally covers this. It also covers the PPE things. Considering how few software engineers there are in the course and how many times I was asked that question, maybe a specific message to the software engineers, go and watch the week 0 videos. We specifically address you in there, so maybe that would be helpful to you. My ENGG1003 link is not working for Discord. Okay. Is that a common problem for anyone else? If it is, I might try and make a new one. I can't make a new one. That's fine. I'll pass that information on to Professor Weller, and he'll email you guys links and all of that type of stuff. Don't stress. This was a, hey, if people can get in now, great. If they can't, we'll figure it out later. There might have been like only 100 people were allowed in on that link or something like that. Those are default, so don't stress. Can you show us some previous workshop problems and solutions? If I wanted to hamstring you and reduce your marks on test day, that is exactly what I would do. It is the absolute worst thing I could possibly do to you as a design process is show you a last year's solution. It's a really interesting thing that we are going to talk about at length in week 3 is the engineering design process and how we do it. And if you ever get in a competitive design scenario again, the best thing you can do to a whole room full of people is shout out an idea and you will cripple all of them. It's really cool. So we'll talk about it in week 3, but the answer is generally no, we don't want to do that. Is the PPE only for workshop? Yes. I have no problems with you sitting behind your computer and wearing your safety glasses and boots. I'm not going to stop you, but you are not required to, just for your workshops. Join Discord server after 5. Sweet. I just ran short. I'm aware I'm out of phase with the chat here, guys. I've run the sorting hat again. Hopefully you get sorted. I'm going to run the sorting hat a couple of times a day over the next couple of days as people join. We should be fine. If we're not fine in a couple of days, we'll figure it out from there. But you should be. I'm hoping it will just happen naturally. You're doing the diploma. If you're doing the diploma and your Canvas site hasn't been published yet, I'm not surprised. In a lot of ways, those of you doing the diploma will have a bit of a different experience. In ENGG1500, you're mixed in with everybody else, and there's 570 of you, as we've said. In the diploma classes, which is all of your FENG classes, there's only like 35 of you. So you're going to get a much more personalized experience there. And then stuff like Canvas sites and Discords and stuff become way less important because you're not trying to go 1 to 600. You're trying to go 1 to 30, and like emails and things become fine. So I don't know about, apologies, I don't know about your FENG core sites and stuff like that, but don't stress. They'll be totally fine. First semester PPE are only enclosed shoes. Go watch the week 0 what to buy video, please. How long after my math placement test? Don't know, unfortunately. I understand that I don't really know much about the math placement test. It was introduced after I went through. I don't really know. I wish I did know more, but I can't get access to that information, unfortunately. So I'm not sure. Hopefully there's someone else you can reach out to. If you absolutely can't, flick me an email and I'll try and follow up, but I actually have no idea who I'm going to ask. So we did talk about what to do if you have a lecture directly after a workshop, in that particularly if it's a YouTube lecture and you start 5 or 10 minutes late, just start 5 or 10 minutes late, start it at the beginning and watch it at 1.5 times speed and you'll catch up no problems. If it's a Zoom lecture, I don't know, but Mech 1110, ENGG 1003, ENGG 1500, all YouTube live streams, all of them give you this ability to catch up to live, which is brilliant. Oh, cool. Thank you, 1HP Wonder, helping out there. For the College of Health and Safety requirements, to complete all the quizzes and grades before we do lab work. No, you do not need to complete all the quizzes and grades. I'm not going to show you grades because that would be the wrong thing to do because people's names are in there. But there is like 500 quizzes in there. You don't need to do that. You need to come to ENGG15. You need to go and watch the inductions video. Just do that. It will take you through the process. So after this or whatever, go watch the inductions video. It's in the week 0 playlist. It's also in my Canvas site. I'll just show you how to get there so it's super easy. If you go into the ENGG1500 site, if you go into modules, you go into admin, you can go into inductions and PPE. I'll put it in student view for you so it looks like the way you'll see it. Go into admin, go into inductions and PPE. Watch these 2 videos, and they should take you through it. Am I able to discuss Turnitin? Sure, I can definitely do that. So Turnitin is a system that exists for essentially plagiarism checking. So it's a system that when you upload your assignment, I can click a button behind the scenes which says submit this assignment to Turnitin. And it takes your document and it puts it through Turnitin, and it goes and checks every word and then every phrase and then everything to see if it's been published anywhere else before. So if you rip something straight from Wikipedia and plonk it in, it will highlight that section and say, this has been repeated in Wikipedia. And I'll be like, cool, that was plagiarized. It will also do that between different reports. So if you and your friend submit things, it will check them both and go, these words appeared over here in this other report as well. And then it will pick that up and be like, cool, these 2 people cheated off each other. And we can go and follow that up with whatever disciplinary action is required. So that's sort of what Turnitin does. It's not flawless, but it's not bad. It's pretty hard. it's pretty common for it to pick up any form of plagiarism. And just going through and changing a few words here and there certainly does not defeat it. It's getting pretty good. It's going to be eclipsed very soon, I'm sure, by a chatbot that we just feed all of this information to and it does it instead. But sure, for now, Turnitin basically does that for us and it detects plagiarism. What's really interesting to see, though, is how little it's needed because your markers pick it up almost flawlessly. It is extremely rare because I will check all the Turnitin reports, but I will also have all of my markers mark the reports, and they will come to me and be like, "Hey, this person, this person, this person, and this person have all cheated. They copied off each other. This come from Wikipedia. This come from whatever." And the markers are as good as, if not better than Turnitin, because occasionally they will find something that Turnitin even misses. So that's basically what Turnitin is. Now, it's again a system that makes some people worried. They're like, oh no, if I'm describing the projectile motion equation, what happens if my wording happens to be similar to somebody else in the class? I'm like, yeah, I would expect that. If I've asked you to give me the definition of lift, I don't know, I made something up, I would expect your wording to look extremely similar to a bunch of other people. So just because Turnitin flags something as this looks similar to other wording I've seen before isn't necessarily a problem. Just don't copy and paste shit from the internet or from other people or from ChatGPT and you'll be fine. Hope that helps. It's a, weird topic that people probably haven't taken any time to explain it to you. Happy with the week 0? Whoa. Are the week 0 videos on Canvas? Yeah, sure. They are. Modules, lectures, weekly lecture content. There you go. Also, so you will always be able to get to the lecture content that way. But you don't need to log into Canvas to get to the lecture content. Go to YouTube. Actually, what I might do. So, so it's like what you will see, because I don't know what you have. So go to YouTube. Go to ENGG1500. Come to my webpage. This is my site. You can see I'm live right now. Go to playlists. Week 0 start here. So you could just, like and subscribe if that's how you like to engage with content. And then every time I post new videos, you'll get pinged and you can just go and watch them. Or you just come to playlists and week 0 is here. And when I upload week 1, it's going to go in there. And you will always be able to get to the content by coming to the YouTube channel, go into playlists. And I'll make those links, if they're already there, I think, in Discord, to be honest. Where is links? Course links. YouTube live links, YouTube channel. Yeah, it's just there. So you can just hit that link in Discord and it'll bring you here and you can get to the content. I desperately wanted you to never, ever have to log into Canvas because it's slow and it's annoying to go through the Okta thing and stuff. You never need to do that. You can just be like, ping, Dylan upload a new video, boom, I'm in, let's go. Super low barrier to entry is really important. It works on the link below, but not the email for 1003. That happened to me as well, I'm pretty sure. So I think what we've emailed out has probably hit like a 100 subscriber limit or something like that. We'll have to just make sure we keep those links fresh. On my UON to-do items under my enrollment says I have a task to complete, but when I go to my hub, nothing happens. It's a problem. Don't know. Do you want to flick me an email and I can just at least manually check your ENGG1500 enrollment is okay? I can't really help you outside of that. Oh, seems like you're not the only one with that problem. I'll do what I can. I'm not sure. Sorry. A lot of the systems that we have are not great. If you do it on your phone and nothing comes up, you have to do it on a computer, apparently. Interesting. But added to the architecture and built environment Canvas site. What is this? Don't need to do anything with it now. Architecture and built environment workshop doesn't have its own Canvas site. That's interesting. You should have a... If you go to Canvas, I need to leave student view. That's fine. That was just because of the demo before. So you should have a college health and safety, college of engineering, science and environment. sorry, work health and safety, blah, blah, blah. So you should have this. And within this, you have architecture and built environment workshop quizzes and things to do. They have a page within the site. Maybe that's a page within a site. So they do have a page within this site that, yes, when you click that link, it should take you to, but it shouldn't necessarily have its own site. Maybe that was just a terminology thing. We'll be informed of the must-do items next week. I will make, every week, I'll make you a little, well, it'll start out kind of big because week 1 there's heaps of crap to talk about, but I'll make you a video each week, which is like, these are my expectations of you over the next 7 days. You've got a quiz out, you've got an assessment to do, you've got da-da-da. You'll get that every week from me. That's my way of trying to be as clear and concise with you that you don't have to stress, oh no, have I forgotten something? Bam, go and watch that 5-minute video and I'm just going to be like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And you should be golden if you do that. Oh, thank you for posting the link to the free software. Did you just chuck it in general? Legend, thank you, Liam. Can't see the timetable for maths. Cool, sorry, I don't know how to help you with maths. Yeah, your maths workshops don't start till week 2. With the plagiarism, happened to me last year. I got pulled off for plagiarizing when I didn't. Ended up writing up someone similar to a report on another site. What can I do if this happens again? Okay, so you can talk to your course coordinators early. So if you haven't done the wrong thing and you can have an honest conversation with me, you're going to be fine. I'm going to find places where the Turnitin says you plagiarized. And as long as you didn't do it, you're probably going to be fine. And what I will do to somebody in that environment is generally, take their assignment, turn it down so they can't see it, and just ask them the same questions. And if you're like, this is the answer, then that proves to me that you know the content. And then I don't care. And if you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, and I'm sitting there holding a report where you've given me a detailed explanation of thing, and you have absolutely no idea what it is, then that's like sus as, right? So what I would do in that scenario is refer you to this person at the university who's called a SACO, a Student Academic Conduct Officer. And they take the case from there and go and investigate it. It kind of removes some of the bias of like, maybe I've got a vendetta against you and I'm out to get you or whatever. You can go to that SACO. And I could elevate the problem to the SACO if I thought you'd done something bad, or if you think you're being unfairly treated. If you don't think you've done the wrong thing and somebody's saying that you have, you can elevate a case to them and be like, no, I'm sure I'm in the right here. Can I please speak to your supervisor? Okay. Properly cited source. So if your answer to questions is I copied and pasted this from somebody else and I cited it, it's worth 0 marks to me because I don't need you to Google things and copy and paste them to me. I won't ask you questions where you should be doing that anyway. So citing sources is not actually the argument for getting out of trouble here. It's you should know the content. This is actually a problem that people dream up in their heads and get really worried about that's super not an issue, because I'm not going to ask you for things like, I'm not going to ask you to define lift. I'm going to say, go and do a project and then write a report on it. Unless somebody else has done that exact same project and found the exact same results as you, there's nothing that you're going to be able to look up to tell you the answer anyway, so you'll be fine. We will talk at length in week 4 and week 6 about engineering report writing. And we're going to go through when it's appropriate to cite and when it's not and how that works. But it's actually way less of a problem than most people think. Look, we're not out to get you. If you've genuinely tried, we're not running an inquisition. I want you to learn things. If you've learned things, awesome. That's my goal. Take a shot every time you get an email saying new sign-in detected. Oh, I know those feels, man. It's every 2 weeks. Every single university system, every 2 weeks, times you out of everything and makes you redo all of the 2-factor authentication, all of everything. For the first time ever, I took 2 weeks off over Christmas. I booted up my computer first day back and I couldn't get into anything. It took me like 2 hours just to get running. Weird architecture ones. Hopefully you'll be okay. If you're super stressed about ABW, definitely has its own site. Why? Sorry, I didn't see these earlier. That is complete news to me. I spoke to them this week. Thank you for letting me know, everybody. I appreciate the feedback. I'll try and chase it up. Don't stress. They've obviously done something weird this year. You will have this explained to you in your week one workshop. So go to your week one workshop. I'm sorry if I've created some confusion here. I didn't know they'd made their own site. Go to your week one workshop, listen to them. If they tell you something contradictory to what I've told you about inductions, that's fine. Do what they have told you to do. It's their work site. I'm trying to help, but obviously they've changed something. So apologies if I've created some confusion there, everyone. I don't understand. If you don't have a class in ABEW, you do not need to engage in that site. I can't even see it. So, okay. Yeah, so Turnitin will flag your bibliography, and I will just ignore that because, well, yeah, it should flag your... If it doesn't flag your bibliography, I'm more worried, right? In reference to the must-do, what about these things we've talked about today? Okay, so what your must-do for today is go watch the week 0 videos. Okay, that's what I want you to do. If you've done that, you're fine. If you want to do some of these other sort of life admin things that we've spoken about, like, so go watch the week 0 videos. I desperately want you to do that. You know, make yourself a timetable and get organized. Great, do that. I think that's a good thing to do. Learn how to send emails. You've made sure you're enrolled. This is fine. You've opened Canvas and you know what it is. I think that's probably a must-do to have at least opened a Canvas site. But if you've done that, you've done that. You're fine. You're in the Discord. I'd say that's probably a must-do. Getting this software is a nice to do. It's certainly not a must-do, but if you want to grab the software, by all means. No, your workshop number. It's fine. Accessibility RAPs. Reach out to me if you know you want to be part of this conversation. If you don't, you can just forget it. And we're all good. So that's sort of it. This is less of a must-do experience and more of a can I help you in any way type experience. How do I stop getting emails every time there's a new login detected? You don't. You learn to live with it. It will become less. It will become less. But yeah, you learn to live with it. No, you can bail now. I mean, okay, yeah, you can bail now. No lecturer can ever keep you around. But yeah, by all means, bail. If you have questions, please stay and ask them, and I will do my best to answer them for you. I'll generally not let these sessions run late, but I also don't want to leave anybody with unanswered questions. Bail now if you're done. If you don't have any more questions, feel good. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. This obviously doesn't work if you don't come and you don't engage. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. I will see you all this week. Bail if you're done. Go eat, go drink some beers, do whatever it is you need to do. I'm going to stick around and answer questions until everybody feels comfortable, and then hopefully I'll see you all in workshops these weeks, this coming week. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Okay, if there are any more questions, please chuck them in. I did see one about what type of citation does the uni prefer. The university officially has 9 different forms of citation. None are considered a gold standard. We'll teach you a couple, actually. You'll be fine. We'll teach it to you. It's nothing to stress about. Thanks, everyone. These slides won't go up, Noah. They'll pretty much never go up. Watch the session. If there's critically important information I need to share with you in a written way, I'll write a document and send you the document, but my slides are kind of useless, so. Thanks, everybody. Do the inductions have to be done before the first workshop? No, they don't. I would encourage you to have a crack at them, because if you're really confused, which is likely considering there seems to be a lot of confusion at the moment, then you can ask in that workshop. If you haven't had a crack, you don't know what you don't know. So have a crack, do them if you can, and then they're done, and that's great. And if you can't do them because you hit a problem, you can ask the question. But if everything goes to hell in a handbasket between now and whenever your first workshop is, and you haven't had a chance to do them, that's fine. Show up anyway, but they have to be done by week 2. But you'll be fine. Okay, if there's any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to see if I'm just talking to myself. Am I just talking to myself? Maybe. Maybe not. All right. If there are... Yes, Liam, maybe I am talking to myself. If there are no other questions, I'll shut it down now. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you in your workshops. We'll be here, same bat time, same bat place next week, right? Friday, Thursday, 5 o'clock. See you then.